Hello everybody, it's Eric Freeze, and today we have this Lao barrel fan. I believe it's a 20-inch, um, and this thing is super big, and just for a size comparison, I got a traditional 12-inch oscillating fan right here to sit next to it, just to show how big this is. And this is as of right now, the biggest barrel fan I own, and when I saw this, I had to get it. I didn't know they were this large. I'm kind of at a loss for words on this thing, but it's massive. This is how I found it, minus the power cord. I added my own power cord for testing purposes. This has a Emerson. It's a model SA55. NXSFA-4865. That's a pretty long model number. I don't believe this motor can do... Okay, this motor is reversible. Just reverse the orientation of the motor wires inside, which the cover's missing. So, yeah. And this thing, I believe, draws 5.3 amps, which that's about what I was getting off of it earlier. I had this running for about 2 to 3 hours earlier, maybe a bit more, give or take, just to kind of test it out and see how it's running. This motor I feel is a bit too small for it. I have a bigger motor I'm going to put on here, and I'm going to put this motor on a smaller barrel fan, since the big motor doesn't make sense for it to be on a fan or whatever, so here it goes. It's definitely really powerful while it's running. I'll get the camera over to get some close-up views. I don't have any sort of measurement device since my tape measure died, because apparently you're not supposed to use those in water. I believe this is a 12-inch pulley. And the adjustable pulley here on the top is adjusted all the way for the fastest function, so has some speed on it. The airflow from this thing is like, it's really far, and I can adjust this baffle. I don't think this is an adjustable baffle, but I can add more to it to make it go even more faster if I wanted to. And it's moving everything around in here. It's doing a pretty good job. You can see all this stuff back there moving. The bearings on this are extremely heavy duty. Probably going to move the collars in a little bit because there's a lot of back and forth play. There is a motor shaft on this side, so if you want to mount the motor to this side of the fan, you totally can. Now, I'm not sure. I might mount it on this side because that's where the motor is. On the other fans I have, there is a graphic here for the installation instructions, which is kind of going away. I'd like to find one of these where the graphic's still in good shape. And then it has an old loud decal over here. I believe this fan was made sometime in the 50s. Has a nice base on it. This is also a downward firing unit instead of a top firing, much like this Lao here, where it vents out the top. This one vents towards the bottom. I don't see any holes or provisions. Actually stands welded on, so this is only a downward firing blower. The stand on this thing is massive. This thing's really hard to move around, so I have a steel rod here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill some holes through here so I can slide the steel rod all the way through the bottom of it, put some washers and stuff on there, and have a set of wheels on here, probably some old lawnmower wheels or something. I'll have to make some spacers first before I do that, but that's just going to be what I'll have to move it around. I don't think I'll add a handle or anything to it. Probably add some wood blocks on the front to kind of lift it up a little bit to compensate for the wheels. That'll be a video or project later on. I don't know if I'll video that. But the mounting bracket needs to be redone. Right here, as you can see, it looks like one of the brackets is disintegrated or something, got hot, melted. This one here is still fine, it's falling apart. There's this little like Kong style bracket here. There was one on that side, but that also broke. Motor's a bit banged up. I think that's just from transport though. I found this at a junkyard, and when I saw it I knew I had to bring it home with me. Yeah, the motor bracket's a bit knackered there. It's fine on that side. Bracket looks a bit bent, and pulley spacing on it is a bit bent. You probably won't be able to hear me over the wind noise. We'll shut this off soon. Just kind of, let's see what our amps are. We got 5.5, so it's running within spec. 388 the watts, and power factor of 0.57. It's not as low as I thought it would be. So it's running just fine with help from the ElectriPack power strip, which seems to be arguably as cheap as the crappy fluorescent fixture. We'll turn this off so you can hear the centrifugal stop. Here's a look at the pulley. There's some holes drilled in there, which I believe that was done just so it can be a bit more balanced. Here's the base. Look inside. This thing's really dirty. I'm not going to worry about cleaning it right now, but I will at some other point. It's very tedious to get these cleaned, and there's not really a good way to disassemble these since they're all kind of like crimped together. You can see right along there. So look at the bearings again. This one has a pretty thick blower on it. The blower on this is pretty comparable to the one on that unit. It's a little balancing weight there to help with the balancing because I actually cared about this thing lasting. Very dusty. Yeah, yeah, pretty bad. Maybe at some point I'll have to pull the motor off of this and get this cleaned up. This is going to be the motor I'm going to put on it. It's a day turd. You have some extra hardware and stuff here if I need it. I'll go over the specs of this thing later, and I'm going to reuse the pulley from this on the Dayton motor. Dayton motor is not that old, at least I don't think it is. So I'll put the camera back on the dry. Actually, before I do that, we'll do some fire-ups, just because with how it's set up, there's not much tension on the belt, and with it kind of going off to the side like that, it doesn't really run quite the best. So here's a startup. I'm well aware it's not good to do that, but do it again from over here so you can kind of hear how after the motor speeds up, there's a bit of a pause until the fan actually starts to get up to speed. Even as it spins down, it still has a good bit of airflow off of this. These don't have to spin fast to move air, so that's something that's pretty nice. Get the camera set up, and then I'll start disassembling. Just turn this fan on as well. But we're going to start working on this. Disregard that whistling noise. That's one of the ceiling fans turning on. Need to do, actually both the fans, they need their bearings rebuilt. Start off first by doing the easy stuff, which is unplugging the motor and removing the belt. How I have this fan motor wired up, it's pretty simple. I literally just use the terminal connection. This is a little port off of the dehumidifier. I have to get something in there so I can disengage that little clip on there. Not too sure what I need some wire. Well, I have wire strippers over here, hopefully. If those didn't get misplaced. Which I believe they did. I guess we'll use pliers then. Hopefully won't need wire strippers for the entirety of this project. We have some vice grips as well that have also misplaced. There's the cord. Ground off. Should just be more tools that I don't have on me already. Just grabbed some much needed tools. Going to start. Moving the screw off this. This might actually be a bit too high of a work surface. Which is easier said than done. Actually, I can just remove the other brackets first, and then I can do a full removal of the bracket. It will be easier to do this. Is just, oh, that's a catastrophic failure. Holy cow, that just came right off. There's the oil wick. Maybe it's just kind of taps right on. There's a look at what I'm seeing. There's the bearing in the oil wick. There's a little hole in the top that the oil kind of drips down into. That's not supposed to happen. It looks like it just kind of goes back on. A little hesitation of some pounding. I think I can fix this. Emerson motors made in the 90s are not nearly as good as they were a long time ago. Sort by removing this. I'll like to remove the adjustable pulley a little bit later. Set this off to the side first. Remove the bracket. Which at this point I might be able to do it with the socket, but I just don't think I have the right sockets right now. these here. I'm not even sure what bolts these in. That's going to be a freak show. Definitely been loose for a while because I see some wear, hardware. This right here is a different type of bolt. I can still loosen it. Looks like they fall. I have all this residue and shit now I have to clean off. That bolt's gonna fall in there and I'm gonna be doomed and I won't know how to fix it. So, I'm already not liking that aspect of everything. Washers all just cocked. Yes. hesitation. With how good this project is going, that means there's going to be a freak show, and I know exactly what the freak show is going to be, and it's going to be these bolts falling into the fan and not being able to be retrieved. That's that's the exact issue I'm going to have with this whole thing. Washer right here. It's like a more flat washer, but I don't know what caused that bracket on that side to get all gummy like that. I'm going to just guess that it is. That one's just hard. I'm going to guess with that it's just a no, I don't even know what I was going to say. Those aren't going anywhere. I'm gonna go get the towel. I always feel very bad when I use a shop towel because was actually nice when I found it, but I found this one just laying in the yard of one of the yards I was mowing at, and was like, well, if I go over, it's gonna get all tore up and make a mess. And if I bring it home, I don't really want to use this as a washcloth or anything. Around this side because the garage is so packed. Try to just get some of this gross goo off of here. Put it on the floor where I'll track over it and then probably bring it into the house. So, oops. I already have a solution for one of the issues. Find a matching set that would be nice. Oh, that's something else. These are compressor mounts from crappy dehumidifiers that I scrapped out not too long ago. Ouch. I'm gonna get this one hard rubber thing out without hurting myself. That's hard. This whole piece here just has all that stupid gunky stuff on it already. Underneath all this oil and grease, the paint's actually not that bad of condition. So, I'll start first by pulling the piece here up. Well, I'll do the other side actually first. These are not going to work without modification. So I'm going to have to modify them. And what I'm going to do with these is they have this kind of, well, the other one more flexible. This one's just harder. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go get some scissors, cut that off, and I'll see how that works. So, just cutting this piece off. And do the same with the other one. Well, we got one. Let me get the stupid nasty material for this washer, see if I can save it. These two are going in the garbage. What's in this? should be good. Move all this hardware and stuff over here to the side. And we're going to do a pulley swap now with this bracket here just to hold the other motor in. So I can remove this pulley. Show. It's this pulley now, to remove itself. Pipe wrench would probably be the appropriate tool for this, but I don't have that, so. Just going to revert to some channel lock pliers that I stole from work. I'll take a chance to clean this. Rarely get to use the large channel lock, so special occasion, I guess. All the stuff I do in here, you expect that I use that, but not really. Stuff off of there. Just go in here and roll it around, and the pulley should just slide right out. Screwdriver, something to give me some leverage on there. Those ones are nice. Should have a very junky one around here. I do, but this one's short, so I don't know if this one will work. Well, that went rather smoothly. Thankfully, all the freak shows in this episode are all very minor. I'm gonna wait to reinstall the pulley until I get the very similar. I mean, until I get the other motor on. Set this aside again. And get the other motor up here. I'll just have to do with this motor. I gotta unbolt it. Oil this as well. I don't know what this motor was being used in. I guess probably HVAC equipment. But this there over Class B motors. Okay, enclosed installation. Okay, so I think enclosed installation. That's what it's talking about. Yeah. So I just have to remove the ground wire as well. Power cord I have. I don't know if I use it. This does have a connection. Hook up. This motor's really heavy. Well, I'm gonna go first. Requires getting off these little teeny oil caps. Not too long before I serviced this video, before I started recording this video, worked on another piece of equipment that had spring-loaded oil caps. Actually, it's a motor down here that was making some funny noises, and serviced it well. So I oiled that one, and no wonder people don't service the motors on these things. It's almost impossible to get the little covers off. This is going to be very annoying. Here's the freak show in the video. It's these darn oil covers. Does that mean I'm not gonna be able to service this? Is this one of those permanently lubricated motors that people always talk about? You know, if there's gonna be anything, I'm gonna destroy this stupid oil cap just trying to open it. Oh, finally. This cap's all sorts of knackered now. Let's see how many drops of oil to use. 10 drops. GE'd oil wells on this thing are, they are really deep. It's already spinning a lot better. Holy crap, this thing doesn't want to take oil. It's trying to go in on that side. This will look up. Yo, this is how the other one was supposed to come off. Easily, without hesitation. I might get rid of some of these things. I should take them away. I just over-oiled it, but it's fine. Put in the crappy cap back on the opposite side of the side I took it on. I don't want to push it down with lots of force, but I also don't want it buckling out of the motor. Imagine right before this motor was taken out of service, which was probably like a week ago or so, it had oil in it. I also don't know how I feel about these modern Dayton motors. I'm not sure. I've seen a bit of them fail, but I think that's just because they fail. I don't think you can get lucky and have a motor that just continuously runs, but yet there's motors that are far older that just continue to run. Yeah. So this goes back up here, and I start doing the bolting process. I'm going to use all of the old square hardware that was on here before. So, oh man, I should have done this before I got the doing it reverse order now. Washer. Ah, crap. It's the wrong way. I could just probably just use the vice grips to hold them in, which I'm going to do. They even misplaced. Wow, they're misplaced. They're hiding over here. Be extra difficult. See that, and it's going to be real easy. I can't see, but I am measuring the adjustable wrench to fit the square nut that's now buried. When I was working on this unit yesterday, I thought, I was readjusting the motor, trying to see if I could fix it. I really thought that this unit had carriage bolts on it, and it does not. On the inside, because I believe that's how it was originally. This. Going to need a washer. anywhere, hopefully. There's probably one back here. Oh, those aren't washers. Like, they might work, but they're not. Using that when it's covered in stupid muck or whatever. Oh. There's carriage bolts too. The issue is none of these right here they have. There's none of the well, washer at the bottom, I guess. We'll be there just in case something stupid happens. Rotating it slightly just so I can get to the wiring port a bit easier. Oh, this is from 2015. It's not as old. I mean, not as new as I thought. It's still pretty new though. I have to move this wheel out a little bit more. And by the way, to the people that don't know, the Allen set screw thing on these pulleys, blades, whatever the heck it is, they always go on the flat part of the motor shaft. Can't tell you how many times I see people where they don't screw it onto the flat part. It's kind of hard for these. I only have it on two sides of the pulley, whatever. Might have to center that though. I have to put it over here. Fairly easy on this one. These pulleys here, they work a lot much like a CVT. So kind of the tighter they are, the faster they spin the motor. This one here, I'm probably going to have it set somewhat loose, but there is already a lot of right there. It's probably this right here might be a bit too tight. I will see how this goes. Once again, these have flat parts on these belt-driven parts. If I'm not happy with the speed, I can always adjust the motor tension. Now I'm going to do the wiring. This should be fairly easy with how this is set up on this motor anyway, because I'm just going to use what I had, which is a dehumidifier power cord. Yeah, the feeling I'm going to guarantee this, but I'm going to kick this tripod. Flathead, Phillips, so plus. Check to see what it wants me to wire it up to. I believe the motor's spinning in the right direction. If not, I'll go back and change that. Four and one. Right? Yeah, 4 and 1. Number 1 is right here. I'll wrap these up somewhere on the top of the machine. Well, let me check first to see if it's spinning in the right direction before I continue any further. Yeah, wrong direction. So let's see what we have this set up at. Should be. Is it? Okay, clockwise. This is 5 and 2. doesn't make any sense. Huh? There's like no airflow coming out. Sounds cool. It doesn't. 524141. Oh, Billy, I'm reading it wrong. Jeez. Let's move that out of the way. Man, imagine not understanding the diagram. And was it 3 for the other line? 4. Okay. Is it 1? Yeah. So it just goes in right here. Guarantee that plug doesn't like being plugged and unplugged so many times. Jeez. Okay, it should work now. Oh, I forgot. This motor was used in wood shop, so the motor is covered with like sawdust clippings in it. Sure, let's get this out of the way. Plugging this for safety. Now what I'm going to do is replace this cap. All I gotta do is just hook up the earth. And just about. And the earths are connected. So it should be ready to go. I think I said I was going to oil the bearings, but that requires more time it's going to make for the video. Well, it's already an hour long. Might as well do it. It's going to be a fun one to edit. This side we're done. Can't see it. I'm doing this side here. Whoo, sheesh. Okay, time for a startup or two. I don't even remember I had the camera set up. I think it was right here. I'm going to turn back off the ceiling fans or anything. This thing looks so much more better with the motor on it. It's like the right size. Oh, it actually sounds like a piece of industrial machinery now. I think I've also sweated my ass off working on this project, so it feels really good. Yeah, I think the airflow's improved. I also did speed up the RPM a little bit from what I believe it was set at, so I might add more RPM, I might not, I don't know. This is way much better now with this new motor. Now this draws about an amp or so more than the previous setup, and I'll have to do something with the wires. I'll probably do a loop or something, zip tie it there on the bottom. Maybe do an inline switch as well. In the air, so that it's moving the blades on that mobile air. The motor has a really nice sound to it. One of my new favorites now. I just got to get some wheels on it. I'll probably start using this thing somewhat often. Holy cow, this thing is a leader though. Yeah, made in the USA. I can say that. Let's see what our amps are. 7.71, 415 watts, a power factor of 0.44, so it's even worse than the other one. Get some motor shots from over here. Ah, darn. This here's going to try to see the centrifugal switch. I am well aware that this is bad for the motor to keep recycling it like this, but I love the sounds these centrifugal start motors make. I don't even know what to point at. And one last fire up and I'm going to let it run for a while. Yeah, this is way better than the old setup. So thank you very much for watching and keep the breeze.